Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Day from the UK, a live Miami Heat UK streaming show. We are not quite full strength again, just as we lose one star, another one comes back. But we're just like the Miami Heat. We'll get into that in a minute. First of all, Sam, how are you feeling? You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. How
Good.
about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready for this trip. Ready for this road trip. We'll get into it. John, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Right, guys, we have to start in the usual place, but obviously it's a bit devastating. We start on a bit of a downer here. A good win against the Lakers, a tight game, slightly higher scoring than what we thought. We all predicted mid to low 90s, but a good solid win. But it came at a cost, and it's a devastating one. Sam, I'll start with you. Victor Oladipo, just when he starts to get his feet under the table, he was looking good, better with every game. We saw some fierce dunks in the game against Lakers. He was looking sharp, looking all over the place. But he goes down in what looks like something pretty innocuous, but it's the same knee, it's the same trouble, and it doesn't look good from the Heat's point of view. No real reports come out as per usual with Miami. But when you start hearing second opinions, specialists, and so on, this doesn't look good, does it? How gutted are you about Vic?
I'm absolutely gutted. It's painful. I mean, just watching that last game, there were like glimpses of what this offense could be. There were instances where Victor Oladipo provided that spark offense that we've been wanting for so long, and it's just painful that he's got to go through this. And yeah, it's unfortunate considering we gave off a couple pieces to get him in the trade, and now we're going to be without him for a couple games. But it's just how it is, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Royal straight away in the chat. Love it as always. But yeah, he it just in one word sums it all up. Pain indeed. John, I mean, it is all speculation. We don't know. You know, this could, where it made me laugh because Bam came out of the locker room after that game and just said he's in good spirits. I think it was just a bit of a scare.
Such a relief when that came out.
Like Dr. Adebayo just coming out and diagnosing that everything's fine. It appears that everything isn't fine. As I said, we don't know. This could be straightforward, but it doesn't sound like that. That doesn't seem like there's any sort of optimism around this. I suppose from my point of view now, the 20-odd games, or I think 20 games left of the season, you now just start to think, are we going to even see him in a Heat uniform again? Would they maybe just keep him for playoffs? Do you think that we see, is this it for Vic?
I'm more on the optimistic side, so I would say yes. Because I don't know how serious it is, but he managed to walk it off. But I don't know if that's really a good sign because Clay walked it off.
Yeah.
But at least he didn't need like more help to get up or anything. So that's encouraging. And if he was ruled out, like if it was serious, I think they just rule it out instantly. So I think they believe it's a bit encouraging as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's a good point. We can't get too dramatic. I think it's always the way that you just think when you hear this sort of news and you hear how vague it is and you start hearing specialists and things, you do just think that could be it, which is such a shame because, as we just said, he was bouncing, he was looking good. Let's be optimistic. Let's hope this isn't the last time we see Vic in a Miami Heat shirt. Let's hope that we get him back for at least with the playoffs, maybe some last few games of the regular season. We'll see. As I said, it is all speculation. But Sam, just before we leave Oladipo, whatever happens now, do you think that the Heat sort of there was always this trial period that we would see where he would get and whether he, we can look the player that he once was. This injury concern was always a concern. It was always a risk. Do you think regardless now, Miami look elsewhere, or do you think that they look at the bigger picture and maybe even try to sign him at a cheaper deal? Because we started to hear that maybe max contract money was what he wanted. I don't think the Heat was ever going to come to go down that route. Maybe around that sort of early to mid 20s. But is there an option now where they say, "Yep, we do it, but we do it at a cheaper deal"?
I think it's too soon to say. We need to know what's up with his injury before we can make that sort of judgment. Because assuming it's something that would linger on for a longer period, then I don't really know if the Heat will make that decision to pay him even a mid-level. Because obviously we've got the contracts expiring at the end of the season and got to manage how we're going to go about that. And I still want to believe that the Heat are trying to work out a trade for Bradley Beal. So
Yeah.
I think it's just too quick to say.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to come back to this comment from Dr. Struce. I gave my opinion first. I realised I'm not actually a doctor, so sorry for the delay. Yeah. So, yeah, Dr. Struce, keep giving you vitamins, my man, because that's all we really care about, your daily vitamins. We had Dr. Adebayo. He said everything was fine. It seems like all is not fine. So we'll see. We'll leave it in the hands of the specialists, and prayers up to Vic that we see him back looking good for Miami. John, do we think now this is as simple as Kendrick Nunn straight back into rotation from out of nowhere again to starter? Or do you think maybe they go another way? Do we look at Dragic back? Do we look at Hero back? Or for me, I think it's Kendrick, but what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Kendrick has to start. I don't think there's any way that Dragic starts this soon in the playoff, like before the playoffs. With 20 games left, it would just probably be better resting him, especially if Depot's not available like for the whole season and maybe playoffs. Then you definitely need Dragic back for that. And then I think Spo already said that Kendrick's always ready whenever the opportunity comes. So I think he will definitely start this game.
Yeah, I agree. Sam, any other thoughts on that, or are you aligned with us?
Just got a couple. I've got a question for you guys, actually. I just want to know what you guys think in terms of do you see Tyler Hero as like a future sort of corner piece of this team? Because if he is, then he should be getting these minutes to like develop. And obviously we've seen inconsistencies at the start of the season, but I mean, we should chuck some minutes his way if he can take it and see how well he improves. I mean, since the trade deadline, he's been playing at a better standard. So why not?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I would. I do think he could be a corner piece of this team, and I totally get what you're saying there. That maybe this is the time then where we do start to think, okay, let's try it again, because we did try it. It wasn't maybe massively successful, and he has looked a lot better since going into his natural, shooting guard position and coming off of the bench, and maybe as a 6th or 7th man. So I think that the only reason it's not necessarily that they would lack that faith in him to give him another go, but I just think that maybe they would look at it as he's been better because he's more familiar with his role coming off the bench. And I think that I'm not sure why they would mess with that when you have got a Goran Dragic and maybe more potentially Kendrick Nunn, who is now fresh again and gets his chance to do his thing and add maybe 15 to 20 points. So I expect that would maybe go down. It would maybe go down that route. Quickly coming back to the chat. Spo's going to play Dragic to have amputate his legs. And yes, definitely hear from Royal as well. Nice glasses, Sam. Very nice. Yeah. Good.
Cheers, Royal.
Right, boys, let's come on to tonight's game against the Portland Trailblazers. Should be a good one. It was a good one last time we played them. Come and set in a second. Let's do the usual stats first. It's 6th seed against 6th seed tonight, but there's quite a difference in records. 31 and 21 Portland, Heat just over 0.500, 27 and 25. 16 and 10 at home are the Trailblazers. Heat are level away from home, 12 and 12. 6 and 4 in their last 10. We are 5 and 5. The Heat have just about got the edge in terms of the bookies. They're saying a -1, so they are just putting us ahead, mainly because of the fact I think that Portland are on a second night of a back-to-back after playing Detroit last night. First of all, let's come on to something that sort of glares with this matchup. It's, again, I remember it last time. Enes Kanter last night, after smoking us last time off the boards, last night against Detroit, 24 points, 30 boards, rebounds. That is only the 4th time since year 2000 that someone has put up a double-double with 30 rebounds or more. Hats off to Eric Reed for that. John, it seems so obvious, but this isn't a strong point for us. And with Kanter, who is so dog shit at everything else, but off the balls, you can't you cannot ignore that he's a threat, and he's going to be a real problem for us tonight, isn't
he? Yeah, because he just you said he done our last game against us. He's coming off a great game, so you probably feel heated, feel hot, And do we know if Dwayne Dedmon's playing or is he not available?
As far as I'm aware, he is game time decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no health issues or injury issues. I think it's just literally a coaching decision of whether he's involved tonight. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Deadman. That he could be useful. Could be
Yeah,
useful
he
tonight.
could be the one to go, the guy to stop him. But yeah, we have problems with the balls all season, so I expect him to do what he did.
Yeah, definitely. Sam, actually, quickly, whilst we're on Deadman, last time on the last episode, we spoke about him roughly or briefly because it wasn't actually confirmed when we recorded last time. It was then confirmed later on that evening. Thoughts on Dwayne Deadman? It seems pretty, we sort of said when Royal was on with us last time, this seemed like the natural, most obvious choice now for what was left available. Thoughts on Dwayne Deadman?
Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I mean, he brings experience, he brings size, and he can play. He's proven that he can provide with the given minutes that he's got. So just hopeful to see what he brings to this Heat team. I've seen an article earlier today where he's like excited to just bring some defensive impact to the team, and we know this team is built on its defense. So I guess he'd fit right in. Just hoping to make a bring to the team.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see him. I think that a bit of culture. He's we always bring players along, so I think he's a useful addition for sure. The needs that were with us screamed out, and he's sort of filled that void for the time being. One stat, John, that jumped off the page when I was doing a little bit of research for tonight's matchup. Portland are in offensive rating 5th in the league. The Miami Heat are 23rd, so you've got a top offensive team against a not so good offensive team. Defensively, Portland are 29th in the league. The Heat are 6th in the league. So we've got a very good offense against a very good defense. What's going to come out on top tonight, do you think?
Similar to the Lakers game, I think, because without LeBron and AD, they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think there will be a blowout on any team, but any team. I think this will be a close game. But I think our defense will be the difference here.
Yeah, I agree. I think it seems very easy to just say, look, you keep that backcourt quiet, and it should be straightforward. But it's not going to be that easy, and that's an impossible task as well. Because obviously you've got Dame, who had a really quiet game against us last time until relatively late on in that 1-2-5, 1-2-2 win just a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. But CJ McCollum went off for 35. He didn't miss in that first half. I saw a little bit in the chat actually that CJ McCollum, who's had his injury problems this season, doesn't play back-to-backs. Can anyone throw any light on this, either out of you two or anyone in the chat that's listening? Sounds like a Royal question. He should have an answer to this. I think it was Giancarlo Navas who put that out, that he doesn't usually play the back-to-backs. That'd be a great help, wouldn't it, Sam?
No, absolutely. I feel in terms of our backcourt, we've got the defense to at least neutralize what CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard can bring forward. Personally, I was impressed to an extent with Precious Achiuwa in the last game, and Bam's defense on Drummond was good. Although Drummond got like second chances, I thought Bam's post defense was fantastic. So I'm quite hopeful with this game. I think the last bits I've seen in the last game have upped my sort of optimism in terms of the game against the Portland Trailblazers. So I think we'll pull a win. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll come on to the predictions in a second. Again, I'm going to come back, John, to Jimmy Butler. I seem like every episode I say something on Jimmy because he just doesn't stop, does he? Again, another 28 points against the Lakers. He's now averaging almost 22 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists. And I think as a winning, when we've got him playing, I think we're something like 25 and 14. We're something like 4 and 11 when he's not playing. I mean, this guy wins games on his own, doesn't he?
Yeah, I keep seeing Jimmy's stats on Twitter. It's like the first guy since someone to post 22, like 7 and 7 and 2 steals. The first guy since LeBron to post these numbers. So he's been like in any other season, he's probably in the MVP conversation. And he should be in like the top 10 this season. So yeah, I think we will need to rely on him to win these games.
Okay, yeah, Royal just confirming in the chat then. He has been playing all of the games. So whoever it was, I'm pretty sure it's Yanni. where are these stats coming from? I'll have to ask him definitely. But okay, so it seems like we're going to have the usual backcourt troubles. But yeah, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a tight game. It seems like an important one tonight. We were just talking before we come on air. Phoenix coming up. I mean, Chris Paul playing arguably the best basketball of his career at the moment. The guy just seems to get better with age. It's ridiculous. We've then got what seems already like a scheduled loss against Denver on a second night of a back-to-back. I'm not too confident on either of those two games. Then the Timberwolves, which you would like to think should be a bit more straightforward. So this one, if we want to come through 0.500, which I would be very happy with, tonight is the game, isn't it? I don't really. Do you guys see any different? Do you think that there's any chance of picking something up in those other games in the middle there, or do you think that this one has to be the one you take?
It's tricky because with this team, we've gone situations where they're games we didn't expect to win and we ended up winning, and they're games which we should have won by closing our eyes, which we ended up losing. So it's hard to tell what to expect from this team, but I want to stay optimistic. I think we'll come out this away trip with a winning percentage.
A winning percentage. I love it. Love it.
So who, Denver or Phoenix are we beating?
I want to say it'll be a surprise one. Either one will be surprising. So I can't say now, but I have a feeling we'll win one of them.
I love it. I love it. What are you thinking, John?
I think we'll be 2-2. Or 500. But I think we could get the Phoenix game. I don't think we're beating Denver because they're on the road. They're like on the 8-game winning streak. So I think we could get Phoenix if they try as well.
Yeah, I've got it's a lack of guts, but I've got no real faith in either of those two games against Phoenix. I mean, Phoenix are just playing so good; they can't be written off. They're playing so good. And then you've got to go to the Mile High Arena or whatever they call it to play Denver. I know no fans, all the rest of it, but that's an impossible place to get a result, let alone on the second night of a back-to-back. So sorry, I think 2-2 at best, but we'll come on to that in a second. First of all, before we get on to predictions, just want to come back to here with Dr. Strauss again. Portland actually give up the worst corner 3-point percentage by an opponent league. How shocking is it? Anyone worse than us? What I thought, as soon as I read that, I thought to myself, what are the chances that Derrick Jones Jr. against a game buzzer-beating corner point 3 winner against us? It's written in the stars, isn't it, Sam?
But I mean, in terms of, I think this corner 3-point percentage, I don't know what the stats are, but I feel like Trevor Ariza's got a high percentage on that. And
yeah,
John, do you know what the stats are? I feel like
I don't think he's doing that well for this season, but I think for his career, he's been known. I think top 5 maybe in his career for like the corner.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd hope we take advantage of that. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Let's go around in predictions then. Only a short episode tonight because we're missing Danny. Hope Danny's okay. I think he's just got some family stuff on tonight. But let's go around then. So we've done our series, our West Coast series prediction. We've got a 3-1 from Sam. We've got a 2-2 from John. I'm doing a 2-2 as well. We've got Royal in the chat saying 4-0, and we're going to beat Denver by 20. Let's do tonight then. I'm going to start tonight. I am optimistic about tonight. I think that there'll be a bit of a, this little momentum now that we had this long streaky win a load, then lose a load, then win a load, then lose a load. We sort of broke that because we lost a game to end the winning streak, but then we bounced back and got that win against the Lakers. So I think that's a sort of a mental block. Sort of we cleared that hurdle. So I think we're going to ride on that tonight. I'm saying Heat by 10 tonight. John?
I say Heat by 7, like mid-100.
Love it. Love this. Sam, full house?
I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna go Heat by 6, but yeah, early 100. I say maybe 107, 100 or 101. I'm an accountant, for God's sake.
Brilliant. Right. Well, anyway, whatever the accountancies are, there we go. We have gone 3-0 against the Trailblazers. Oladipo or not, we're not letting that dampen our horizons. So thank you again for joining me, guys. Only a quick show tonight, as I said. And guys, in the comments, I mean, that's one of the most comments we've had all the way through this our little series we've done here. So thank you for joining in, because you could be watching NBA basketball right now. I think Boston are playing at the minute. You could be watching the Masters Golf on Sunday, but you're here with us. Love it. Game day from the UK. Anyway, we'll be back on, I want to say Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. hopefully with a full squad, we'll see, to preview the Phoenix game. But we're going to start tonight with a W. Yeah, you can bank that on us. Thanks again for joining us, guys. 3 a.m. tip tonight. I will be there, in-game commentary, Fred, for the first of 3 3 a.m.s. Please join me. We'll see you on Tuesday. Let's go Heat!